Welcome back. We're here, Masechtas Chagigah, page 5b, and we're moving along. So we're up to the Gemara, Umar Illa. Sorry. Reb Illa. Reb Illa, have Sulaik. Reb Illa was once going, Bedarge Devai Rabu Bar Shailu. He was walking on the stairs by the house of Rabbi, the son of Shiloh. And while he was walking on the stairs through the window, Shemai Luyaniket, he heard that the kid was reading out. He was reading the phrase that in the Pusik, the Hava Kukurai. Then he was reading Kehina Yotzai Hurem. It goes on to Hashem. He creates mountains. Ivoirai Riach, and he creates winds, meaning how powerful he is, Hashem. And he tells a person what he's talking. So what are we comparing here? But that's what the Pusik says. The Pusik says that Hashem, the creator of mountains and wind, he will tell you what you talk. So it goes like this. Omar, he says, Evet sharaboy magit loy ma sichoy. A slave that its master knows every detail about him, even what he's talking. Does he have any salvation? Is there anything that he can do to help himself? Now, of course, this is going along with what we have learned till now, the phrases that the sages would cry about. Everyone had their particular thing that ticked them off. And here we're coming back to a phrase where Hashem knows every detail of what we're doing and is going to hold us accountable for it. What salvation, what do we have in our defense? So the Gemara asks, "My masichoi," what does it mean? What you talk? When you say Hashem is going to hold us judgment, He's going to tell us what we talk. What kind of talking is He referring to? Rav says every talking. Afila, even even the extra talking that a person talks with his wife, which is absolutely private and it's extra, shouldn't have maybe been talked, will be retold to the person at the time of his death. So when the person dies and his day of judgment comes, and he will be held accountable for everything that he says. Now here, the Gemara is taking this as in saying negative things, or not even saying it negative, saying unnecessary things, saying things that wasn't necessary to be said. It's Sikha Yasaira. It's some extra talking. And talking with a woman in general is not considered to be a good thing. It's considered to be, I couldn't say it's an outright sin, but of course, talking extra, talking things that doesn't need to be said, that could be counted for a sin, especially for someone who's very segregated and holy. And here we're not even talking to a stranger, we're talking to his own wife. Even that, if there's extra talking, he will be held accountable for that. Now, the Gemara is going to go down here and I'll explain a little bit more about it. But I want to pause here and I want to say something else that this phrase maybe points out here. We're seeing in this phrase, Kihina Yotzehurim, he creates mountains and he creates wind. And he tells the person what he talks about. This meaning that these three things go at the same level. When Hashem creates mountains and creates winds, shows how strong and powerful he is, that's the foundation of the world that we know. We know that humans talking is at that level. Talking can build, talking can destroy, and that's how strong the human voice is, human talking. And that's why it's these three in the Pusik that Hashem would tell you what you're talking. It doesn't say Hashem will tell you if you killed other people, if you stole from other people, which is a very, way bigger bad things. No, it's talking about people talking. The strength of the voice, the strength of people with their talking, what they can accomplish with their talking. That's compared to creating mountains. That's something I want to point out from this pusik because it's been put together. So the Gemara asks, how can you tell me that talking to your wife, extra talking, is a sin? It's not considered to be righteous. It couldn't be. I know it's not so. Why not? The Gemara says a story here. V'hu Rav Kahana haveguna tisai pirya de Rav. Rav Kahana was a student of Rav, and he hid in the bedroom of Rav. He hid under the bed in Rav's house. The Shammai, the Tzucher, he heard that Rav was laughing and they were talking, he with his wife. And he did the mitzvah, he did everything he needed to do. And Rav Kahana couldn't stay quiet anymore, hiding in the bedroom there. Omar, and he yelled out, Dumai Pime the Rav. He says, Rebbe, you're talking so, I'll use a word, enthusiastic, commandaloi tuem lai tafshila, like someone who's so hungry and you haven't ever eaten. That's how you're talking here. That's not right for you to talk that way. That's what Rav Kahana jumped out on Rav. Umalai, when Rav realized that his student Kahana is hiding in his bedroom, he goes, Kahana, is that you? Poik, get out of here. Lav orche de are. Lav orche are. It's not it's not a normal thing. It's not derech eretz. It's not the way of the world for you to be here in the room. So of course, Kahana, the story goes on. The Gemara doesn't tell the whole story here. Kahana said, but it's Torah. I have to learn how to live life in Torah. So I hid in your bedroom to learn how you live life when it comes to worldly things and desires of the bodily desires. I needed to learn how to live it the Torah way. So Rav Kahana, Rav told his student, no, we can learn about it, but you can't be in my bedroom. You can't see. And the reason Rav Kahana did go there is because seeing the Rebbe doing something is a way stronger lesson than learning and hearing the Rebbe doing it, saying it. So that's why he went there. But in the end of the day, we have a kasha here. We have a question. The Gemara says that a person should not be talking extra to his wife. And here we see Rav was talking to her and they were laughing. And that's how they got to do the mitzvah. How could you be talking extra? Right? So the Gemara answers, Loi kasha. We know that when the wife is upset, or if the husband is upset, the same way, someone is upset, or they're not in the mood, then it's no mitzvah. It's a job of the husband to warm up their wife, get them to be in the mood, get them to be happy. So sometimes you need to apologize. L'ratzoya means apologizing and pleasing and trying to get them in the mood. So Rav had to apologize to his wife to get her into the mood, to be a mitzvah. But normally, if that's not the case, then you shouldn't be talking extra just for pleasure, because that's pleasure that may not be permissible. You may not need it. Now, of course, we're talking very high, lofty levels of holiness here. We're talking of people that live for Hashem, and everything they do is for Hashem. And yes, they can enjoy, but their enjoyment is only the mitzvah part, that they're doing Hashem's will, not that they have their own desire. So here, Rav had to do something for Hashem's will. He had to make sure the mitzvah is fully complete and fully fulfilled by getting his wife into the mood, which was part of the mitzvah. But normally, if she would have been in the mood, then he wouldn't have done that, because his own desire is to do Hashem's will. And Hashem's will is only to make her in the mood. He himself, he can be in the mood. He can work on himself, because that's what Hashem's will. So this is very high, lofty ideas of holiness. And maybe setting the bar very high for all of us, as the Gemara is sharing with us the story, so that we know that Hashem will hold us accountable for anything we do extra and any enjoyment that we do extra, even though it's permissible, it may still go on our record as enjoyments of this world that we had to have earned. I'm going to leave it at this. You want to add anything or any questions? Because we're moving here into something different now.
This could be discussed much more further. I don't want to get into it
Yes.
because
Yes.
a lot of points I think is being taken care of from the Zohar even also.
Yes.
Certain things.
Yes.
So I'm just
Yes.
going to leave it
Yes.
at that.
Yes. So this itself could be a whole shiur on its own, and a big topic to explore, and what's permissible, what's not permissible, how much of it, and how much enjoyment a person is allowed to take themselves anyways in this world. I like a beautiful car. I want the best stereo system in it. And some would say, look, Hashem created me with good ears. Let me enjoy. A chassid will say, I'll get the best stereo system because I want to be able to hear every nuance, every detail of the recording, and I want to appreciate and enjoy it. So basically, the chassid would say, I want to live life, I want to enjoy life, and I want to elevate it to Hashem because Hashem created me with these senses that I want to feel and bring it up and bring up my level of life. But then there would be people, which usually not the chassid, they would say enjoyment in life is not as permissible, and if you do, it comes with a cost. So try not to enjoy life. Just do what Hashem asks you to do. Keep your head down, and that's it. So there's many different classes, many different thoughts, and everyone has their way of doing it. I think the way of Chassidus is to be with happiness. And whatever brings you happiness automatically brings you closer to Hashem, and therefore it's a mitzvah now. So it may be a mitzvah to have a good car. Does it have to be the beautiful luxury car that all your neighbors become jealous? I don't think so. But at least a good car so that you enjoy it and you're comfortable, and you can say, Hashem, thank you for allowing me to enjoy and appreciate this beautiful thing. And the same is with smells. I want to have the best smells. I want to have the best sound system so I can hear and enjoy it. So there's ways of thoughts of enjoying life. And the same goes with family, with your wife, with your husband, with everything else around in life, with your kids. In anything that's permissible, I'm saying, even when it's permissible, how far would you take and enjoy of it? Okay, so now the Gemara quotes a pusik, and this pusik we're going to then elaborate and take it apart afterwards. But this pusik starts like this: if you don't listen to me, b'misturim is a plural for hidden. Normal would say besaiser, meaning besaiser, in a hidden place, tifken nafshi, I cry. I cry inside, in a hiding, in a hidden place. But b'misturim is a plural, meaning in hidden places, I cry. B'pnai guvai, and I'm crying because of their ego. Guvai means loftiness, their ego. And the Gemara is going to explain and dissect this pusik piece by piece. Omar Rav Shmuel bar Inyu, Mishmai the Rav. Shmuel, the son of Inyu, said in the name of Rav, Mukum yeshlo el HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's a place that Hashem has, Ibn Misturim Shemoy, and that place is called Misturim. That's the name of that place. And he goes there and he cries. Why does he say this? He says because it should have said, besides certificate, I cry in hiding, in hidden. I hide myself when I cry. But it doesn't say, it says, b'misturim. I cry myself in multiple places, in plural. So he says it can't mean just that he cries in a hidden place. It means a place called b'misturim. That's where Hashem goes to cry. I'm going to finish till here and then come back and try to say something that maybe we can take away. What does it tell us? Ma mipnai govai. So we ended, the pusik ended because of their ego, their loftiness. Ma mipnai, what does it mean? Umar Shmuel by Yitzchak, Shmuel by Yitzchak says, "Bepnai gavusan shel Yisrael," because of the greatness. Gavusa means their greatness, their lofty, or their ego, right? It could be something big, blown up. So he says that Hashem cries because of the big things, the big things of Yisrael, shenitlam that has been taken away from them, v'nitlam legoyim. So the Shmuel, the son of Yitzchak, says that Hashem is crying for what the Yidden don't have, never. It's been taken away, their greatness, their big, great Yisrael, what they were, been taken away from them, and it's been given to the nations. This is one Shmuel, Shmuel the son of Yitzchak. That Shmuel bar Nachmuni, Omar, but the another Shmuel, the son of Nachmuni, he says, "B'pnai kavusa shel malchus shemayim." Hashem cries because of his own greatness that he doesn't get, because of the Yidden not listening to him. When Yidden do mitzvahs, we glorify Hashem's name in this world. But when we don't, he loses out on that. Hashem wants us to do the mitzvahs. He gets something out of it. So because if we don't do that, he loses out, and that's why he's crying on. And that's the Pnai Govai, for the loftiness, for the greatness that he is losing out on. So I want to take a pause here, and I want to say, taking a deep breath before I go say this. Mesturim means in the inside, in the hiding. You may have a nice face on the outside, a nice smile, but you may be torn apart inside. And it doesn't say besides it says b'mesturim, meaning that there's many places. Now the Gemara doesn't say where that place is. Okay, they only say in the name of Rav that there's a place called Mesturim. But we may very well say that this place, Mesturim, is deep in everyone's heart. And many people around us cry on the inside. And that's where Hashem goes and cries. And that's when we cry, since we are, all that we are is Hashem. Not all of Hashem is us. Hashem is way bigger than us. But all that we are is Hashem, because we are two parts. We are a soul, which is a part of Hashem, spark of Him. And we're also a body that has been created from Hashem, because the whole creation was created from Hashem. There was no Home Depot to buy raw material to create the world. So when Hashem created the world, He had to take from Himself to create the world. And there's many different ways of explaining it, as in different lights or different windows, as Hashem's light is coming through. And we're going to learn this later, that there's 10 layers for this light to go through until it becomes a material world. But in the end of the day, when we say Ein Oid Bilvader, there isn't anything else beside Hashem, is because everything around us, everything we see, everything we can touch, even the air that we breathe is Hashem. It's just a different manifestation of Him, a different format, but it's all Him. So now when we say there's a place for Hashem where He goes and cries, it's very much within us, in our hearts, and He cries with us. And when we say there's two different members of Shmuel, there's one Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak and one Shmuel bar Nachmuni. One says because of the greatness from the Yidden that has been taken away, and one says because of the greatness of Hashem that has been taken away. They're really not arguing. They're saying the same thing. Because the greatness of Hashem is the greatness of the Yidden. We're really one. And it's not just the Yidden, it's even the Goyim. Because we're all part of creation of Hashem. Everything here is creation of Hashem. But the Yidden represent Hashem in this world. The Yidden also have a neshama, which is more than just a body that has been created of Hashem. So when we have the glory in this world, it's Hashem having the glory of this world. So there's no argument here. So what I'm saying, what we see from this piece here is that Hashem cries within all of us. and we can feel it, we can connect to it, we can relate to it. And that's why the Gemara is sharing it with us. And we shouldn't belittle ourselves. We should know that, hey, no, we're a creation of Hashem and we're Him. We're not just a creation of Him, we're a manifestation of Him. We're a form of Him forming in us. And we should know that when we cry, He cries, because it's an insight, it's together. And that's how He feels all that we feel. He thinks all that we think, because He is us. So this is a very deep thought, going to the idea of Ein Od Milvado, when there's nothing else in the world, just Him, that some people would say when they suffer, Hashem is causing it. And therefore He's watching me suffer. And that adds to the suffering, because they would say, Hashem, are you enjoying it? Are you watching me suffer? You like it? Yeah, you enjoy this? But the truth is, when you suffer or I suffer, He suffers too. So it's not just Him watching me suffer. Yes, He did the suffering, but when you get to a point and you realize that He's also suffering it, He's also feeling that, because whatever I feel, He feels, then I can at least surrender that I may not understand why, but I know it's Him and I'm good with it, because He's also with me. He's also feeling it. That's a very powerful thing here, a very powerful state to be. And of course, the next step would be, when you have something that hurts me, I sometimes do that, but I have to catch it fast enough. It's a very good exercise. Let's say I stub my toe. And sometimes very bad words would come out of my mouth right then and there, so fast, like, what the hell? But then I can stop and say, Hashem, but you're feeling it too. Do you enjoy this feeling? You're the one causing it. I'm not enjoying it. I don't like this feeling. Basically, what I did here is I disconnected myself as in being the one suffering, as in being the one who is observing me suffering it. And in that case, I can share that with Hashem, saying, but you're feeling it too. And you don't like it, I don't like it, then just take it away. Usually it goes away very fast. But you have to be in a very good place, in a lot of practice to be able to do that, because in the time when you get hit, it goes like muscle memory. You right away get into a place of being upset and angry at Hashem. How dare you do this to me? I want to say one more thing. And and here on the recording, I know I went totally off of what the Gemara started off with. I went into a big rant. But let me just say one more thing. On Rosh Hashanah, we blow the shofar. If you ever noticed, the way we blow the shofar, the tekiyo, the shvurim, the trio, represents a person in many different emotional stages. The tekiyo represents when someone is connected. Shvurim is broken up, starting to break apart. The trio, the last one, is shattered, a bunch of little sounds. It also represents different stages of crying, sounds that a person makes. There's the and then there's the sobbing all the way. That's the trio. There's a Zohar, Rosh Hashanah, that we read before blowing the shofar. There's a big Zohar. If you ever read that piece, you would see that the Zohar very, very much drills in how Hashem created the world. He didn't just create the world. He created the bad inclinations. He created the Yetzer Hara. And the Zohar there states, not just he created the Yetzer Hara, he incites the Yetzer Hara against us. Basically, when you learn that Zohar, you start getting knots in your stomach. Hashem, why do you do this to us? You get to a point where you break and just start crying. And suddenly, when a person cries, they feel better afterwards. Why? Nothing changed. When a person has a good cry and he ends crying, he feels better. Oh, everything is easier now, but the situation hasn't changed. Crying itself doesn't do anything, but yet you feel better afterwards. Why? My explanation
Connection
to
with
that,
Hashem.
What is it? Connection with Hashem, exactly. Because when a person gets to a place of crying, their soul realizes Hashem crying with them. So even though nothing has helped, and even though they don't understand why Hashem is inciting the Yetzer Hara to cause us troubles and make it hard for us, we don't understand it because we're in the world, but we realize that Hashem's crying with us. Then you know what? Then he must have good intentions. There must be a good reason to it. I can now trust him, and I can now feel better with him, knowing that he's with me and I'm not alone in these troubles. And this is where I'm coming back here to what we've learned here. The Misturim means within us. It's the hidden parts from the inside where people cry. And people try to hide it sometimes. And this is the place where Hashem cries with us. And this is what we feel, the closeness, the good feeling after a good cry, that we have felt Hashem. I'll leave it at that. And I'm going to move on with the Gemara. And the Gemara now asks, the Gemara is going to play devil's advocate here, back and forth, putting it on his head. So the Gemara asks right away, is there such a thing as crying before Hashem? Rav Papa once said, there are no sadness, there are no atzvas or sadness before Hashem. And he even quotes a pusik, because it says in a pusik, hoid v'hudar, which means beautiful and balanced. Lefunav is for Hashem. Oiz v'chedvu, which means happiness and song is before him. So how do you tell me that Hashem is crying when the pusik clearly says that he's not? There's loftiness, there's beauty in front of him. What the answer is loy kasha. It's not a question. Why? One is talking about the outer rooms, and one is talking about the inner rooms. So when you talk about a king and he has a palace, there's outside rooms where there's music and there's all kinds of festives and meals and stuff prepared. But in the inner rooms of the king, he cries. He's very emotional and feels very much. Now with Hashem, is there any rooms? There are no rooms. But this is coming back full circle to what I've said before. It's within each and every one of us. Outside, we have a smile. Outside, we show nice faces. But with inside, we can cry. He can cry. And we can sometimes feel it. And that's a very, very strong message. That yes, outside you can be very nice and happy, but you never know inside that Hashem could cry. So now the Gemara is going, now as I said, devil's advocate. So before he asked, there is no crying before Hashem. Now the Gemara says, but you're telling me inside, in the outer room, he's not crying? I can show you a pussy that he's crying even in the outer rooms. So before I said, there is no crying. Now I'm saying there's so much crying even in the outer rooms. In the outer rooms, he's not crying. It says in the Pusik, V'yikru Hashem, Tzavuk Hashem, or Hashem Elakim. I don't know why it's quoted like this here in the Gemara. Let me see it inside in the Pusik. Yes, it's Hashem Elakim. So it's just quoted like this here. V'yikru Hashem Elakim, Hashem Elakim Tzavuk, is the creator. But Yoimehi, in that day, Hashem called out Lefchi, to cry, Mispite, and to Mispite is the speeches that you give by a funeral, right? Hesped. Ilikaru, Velach Sak, and to tear kriya, and to wear a sack, which is basically all kinds of signs of mourning, signs of crying. So why do you tell me that in the outer rooms Hashem is not crying? There's always happiness there. We can see a pusik that there's certainly times when there is crying. So the Gemara answers, well, I didn't quote the question right. I said there's times. The Gemara answers that there's times when he cries and times when he's happy. But the question was, how do you tell me that outside is always happy I see here in the Pusik that he always cries, that he called for crying. So the one answers no. Shanik Chirben Bais Hamikdash, in the time of the Churban, when they destroyed the Bais Hamikdash, the Filim Malachai Shulam Buchi, the angels of peace, they also cried. So then there was no hiding for the crying. When people, well, I'm already going to my metaphor, where people are around other people in a sad place, then it's okay to cry in public. So this is where I'm right away going to that. So it says, Shenemer, it says in Pusik, Hain at Elam to Aki, Chitzu Malacha Shulam Mar Yibkuim. So the Pusik basically says here that even the Malacha Shulam, which is the angels of peace, they were also crying at the time of the Churban, time of suffering. I once heard of one of my rebbes, he said, he's sometimes so full of emotions, but his heart is blocked, he can't bring it out. So he would go to a funeral. He would go to a funeral where there was people there, and their people are crying because of their loss. And he would just go there to help him open up so that he can cry and get it out, what's bothering him in his heart. Because sometimes we're just so blocked in and trying to fight our lives, and we're just not letting ourselves cry it and get there into that space. He would get to a funeral, and the people would see him crying more than the relatives. They would ask him, "Did you know this guy? Are you related to him?" And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. I just came to feel along," because he would have his own issues, and that will be a place where he goes to open up. Yes, I think we should pause here. Yeah, I think we can pause here. We're going to go into a little new territory here. We're going to talk about the three tiers that Hashem has. This is, the Pusik quotes, there's three tiers that Hashem drops and what these tiers represent. So we'll leave that for our next time. Let me just jump in here. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next week.